Hey, so here's my vlog entry from Kyoto, and you get an awesome background on this one. I'm thrilled with this hotel. What a way to end the tour. This morning we left Hiroshima and went to Miyajima Island, which was very cool. If there was one phrase that pops to my mind to describe Miyajima Island, it's suddenly a deer. The island is just covered with deer. They're everywhere. And our guide was telling us about it before we even wandered out from the tourist station. We had to take a ferry to Miyajima Island. Our tour guide was telling us about it before we even got out of the ferry station, and I thought, oh, if I happen to wander up into the forest, I will see maybe a deer. No, as soon as we stepped out of the tourist station, there was like a deer just walking around on the asphalt. It was just a thing. And they were just everywhere. They weren't the least bit afraid of people, and in fact, they were quite interested in eating anything that you had on you, including your clothing and any paper map that you might be holding. And of course, we had some idiot tourists in my tourist group that were sitting there holding their map, like, in front of them, and then a deer was approaching them. They're like, oh, a deer, a deer. And then as soon as the deer got close enough, it took their map. And they're like, oh my god, it ate my map. Well, I mean, duh, have you never seen a deer before? I think that's what they fucking do. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss like that on the vlog entries. Anyway, you can tell I'm getting a little bit fed up with my my tour group. So we wandered around Miyajima Island. The tour guide was a little bit infuriating. He just like stopped every 5 minutes to talk about everything, including, oh, look at the little cat toy in this toy shop. Isn't it funny? Let's all stop and look at it and take all the time in the world. And so that was frustrating. But we walked through the shopping arcade area and got actually to the Itsukushi Shrine. I'm gonna cheat. Look at my map. Itsukushima Shrine. There we go. Which is the shrine associated with the Torii Gate, the floating Torii Gate. That's very famous. And everybody pays attention to the gate, but nobody really pays attention to the shrine when you're kind of thinking about what you're going to see in Japan. The shrine was incredible. It was huge and all out over the water and painted this beautiful vermilion color. So you'll see my pictures there. So that was really incredible. And then we got some free time. So in my free time, I wandered up into the Momiji Forest. Momiji Dani Park is actually what they call it, but Momiji is the Japanese maple. When it's fall, their leaves turn, and it's really beautiful, and it's a little bit early for that to be going on at this point, but a few of them were changing, so I still got a pretty view. And of course, saw more deer. Yeah, and then I just walked back to the shopping arcade, and some people, like, got oysters at this oyster restaurant or whatever, and I just wandered on my own and ended up at a steamed bun booth. They reminded me of Shopao, and they in fact tasted quite a bit like Shopao, and they were delicious. And I got what they called Miyajima Island soda, and then when I actually ordered it, the katakana on the bottle read cider, sort of cider, and then it actually tasted more like a ginger ale, so it was a very interesting experience, but quite delicious. And then had a little cream-filled maple bun, which is kind of the hallmark sweet for Hiroshima. Every area kind of prides itself on making a certain treat, and the maple bun is Hiroshima's thing since they have so many maple trees. So yeah, then we caught some trains and made our way to Kyoto. I basically treat the bullet train like happy hour. Like whenever I know I'm going to get on a bullet train, I go buy some alcohol. So you'll see my picture below of my little sake jar that I drank on the train. It helped me sleep on the train, which was nice. So yeah, and then we got to Kyoto and got checked into our hotel and kind of got some information about when we were all get ready to leave. And then I took off very quickly on my own because I wanted to go shopping. So I hit up Yodobashi Camera, another huge department store full of appliances and stuff, and walked through a nearby mall that has many different floors, and so it's all interesting. In Yodobashi Camera, I hung out on the toys and like hobbies floor for a little while, looking for Sailor Moon stuff to see what all they had, and they had a whole section, like a whole area blocked off for the capsule machines. Like, this is a huge thing here. I saw businessmen, like, in full-on suits. They're just, like, carrying, like, an arm full of these little capsules to go over to the little bench they make. They supply for you, and sitting at opening them to see what they got in their capsules. It's so funny. It's hilarious that this is such a big thing in Japan. It's like the gumball machines on steroids. And I can see how it's kind of addictive, actually. I sat and messed with them for a little while, and it's kind of, oh, I don't know what I'm going to get. Oh, I got the same one. Maybe if I try again, I'll get a different one. And so you can very easily spend a lot of money very quickly. You have to be kind of careful with that. But it was still fun, and then I wandered on back over to my hotel. I'm going to try to get to bed a little bit early tonight, I think. I slept very, very poorly last night. Sorry, my phone's giving me a low battery warning. I slept very poorly last night. Unfortunately, I think everything that we saw and learned at Hiroshima yesterday had me very upset and very anxious last night. So I had a really, really hard time falling asleep, and woke up actually sleepwalking a couple hours later, which is something I only do when I'm super, super anxious. So it was not a fun night, and I'm glad to be out of Hiroshima. It was interesting to see it, but at the same time, kind of the knowledge, and I guess the Japanese people who live there are kind of desensitized to it because it's just their everyday reality. But for somebody who has heard so much about it, and it's always been this distant thing that this is this place, this A-bomb completely wiped out, to actually be there and be laying in a hotel bed thinking, like, the blast covered this area. I mean, once upon a time, where I'm laying right now was just flames and radioactive and awful and hell on earth. I don't know. It was unsettling, and I was very glad to be at Hiroshima and to be in Kyoto tonight, and hopefully I can get a better night's sleep. So, by the way, when I say I was sleepwalking, I didn't leave my room. I should say I didn't, like, wake up in the lobby or anything. I just woke up standing in a weird place in my room. So it wasn't a big deal. But anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. We just kind of did a lot of traveling today in Miyajima Island. I think I kind of covered it all. So tomorrow we're seeing a whole bunch of shrines. Just a whole bunch of shrines. I don't know which ones. Just a lot of shrines. So, and that's kind of the next 2 days, is seeing how many shrines we can fit in. So it's very, very heavy walking. It'll be fun. Looking forward to wrapping up in the next couple of days and heading home. So, I guess that's it for tonight. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.